everybody. Welcome to the Triple Threat Club Wrestling Podcast. Ooh. Where's Tim?
That's Jay.
That's Adam.
Doing the intros.
Wow.
Something's coming for him this week.
It's proper milk in my brew. That's what it is.
Cannabis milk.
Welcome to another one. Before we get started, apparently there's another Triple Threat podcast thing doing the rounds at the moment. Should we address it right now?
We're going straight in.
I'm addressing it right now.
Yeah, Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas, you arsehole. No need for it.
We were aware of some others. I think this is why we called ourselves the Triple Threat Club. That was the thing.
No, I was completely oblivious to the other day. And I was only, as you do, Googling yourself. And then I came across that and I was just like, to be fair, so it's Shane Douglas and two other guys.
Right.
And the two other guys do their own for the podcast. And they seem like okay guys. I did a bit of fishing and a bit of spying.
Who are you calling Shane Douglas?
But Shane Douglas...
Yeah.
Con.
And
he was shit in WWE.
Yeah.
He was shit.
And it took us a while to get our logo thing sorted. We had one, we changed it because we wanted to update it, make it a little bit better. Whoa, there you go. I did say put the light on 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Fucking brilliant. So we worried about our logo bit, settled on the one we've got now. We're happy with it, wearing it proudly and all that kind of stuff. Shane Douglas is especially shit because, as we know, he was known as the franchise at one point.
He was the franchise in ECW.
Yeah. So he's kind of tried to put franchise on his podcast, and due to shit font issues, it looks like the franchise at the moment. The effing franchise. Maybe it's the whole effing franchise now. I don't know.
I just thought it was ranch dressing. I thought
I like a bit of ranch.
Paul Newman.
Yeah.
He does the ranch dressing. Maybe Shane Douglas has got his own line of ranch dressing. JR's got his barbecue sauce. So
maybe he's doing some franchise dressing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you are Shane, fair play, but
do that. But stop doing podcasts.
Yeah.
It's our territory.
What did you call him again?
Can I say this on YouTube?
You already said it.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah? now he says to yourself, we've already dropped 3 C-bombs.
No, you can't say C-bomb on YouTube, really.
Can you not?
No.
Are we gonna get kicked off?
Only if Stevie Wonder sees it. We're fine then. Right, so welcome to the show. We are going to talk about some wrestling and a bit of a special one this time because there is a little bit of a gap before SummerSlam, which doesn't always happen. But
yeah,
it's
normally a podcast. There's normally not a podcast, a pay-per-view every fucking week.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a little bit of a break while they build up for that. So what we thought we'd do is we're going to do the year so far, a little bit of a retrospective, look back, a recap. We're going to look at what's gone on the year so far. We're not exactly halfway through, but I think it kind of feels a bit halfway. When you get to summer, you've kind of done the first half, haven't you?
Yeah, I think that's sort of I think SummerSlam's the midpoint.
Yeah.
Sort of the agreeable moment between both WrestleManias, but also sort of in the middle of the year.
So we're going to be talking about some of the things that we've liked, some of the things we've not liked, and some of the big things that have happened this year in the old WWE. Maybe a bit of NXT as well. You never know.
Yeah.
Should we get right to it then? Should we talk about some things? What are we doing?
Are we doing this? Are we going like calendar-wise? Like going like January, February, March?
Definitely not.
Well done. For those people who didn't know what you meant by calendar, you went through the months of the year. That's very clever.
I like the fact as well how
January, February, March, April if you want after that. Fucking hell.
I like how he gets that idea as well, but he couldn't seem to grasp because before we started recording, he couldn't understand which one we were going to do first. We're going to do the year so far or the year to come. I'm like, we'll do it in order. They had to ask 3 times.
You know why? You didn't go through like literally chronological. You have to do that sometimes.
He doesn't understand the word chronological.
No.
He would try to say chronological and he'd say biblical. He'd probably say it's auspicious, as he did in the last podcast.
Dude, Joe, I was talking. Quick aside.
Plenty of asides today because
we've got time to kill.
Keep looking at that watch.
It's over there. It's that watch.
Took the watch off him because he messes with it too much.
Quick aside. I got the word.
Is it
philosophical wrong last night?
How?
I don't know. I could not pronounce it for the life of me. I was talking to someone and I said to them, I didn't used to be as well. I said I couldn't pronounce the word, but I didn't say. I didn't used to be as philosophical.
You actually went to say it correctly this time.
I know.
And
Philosophical as I was a year ago, but I could not get the fucking word out for the life of me. I was like philosophy.
That's a dinosaur, isn't it?
I think it was a veggie eater, that one.
You are trying to use your words though, which is good.
I am. I'm trying, and that's what matters.
Yeah, well done.
It's the taking part that counts.
And you're the one that suggested today. Oh, we'll just go for it. We'll go for the 4-hour podcast. It'll be fine. Your mouth melts after an hour.
He can say that though, because then we have to somehow make sense of his shit. It doesn't matter to him.
So no, we're not going to go in chronological order because I made this random list expecting. And I think you guys have got some ideas as well, things you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no order whatsoever. I don't think we'll even get through probably all this list. I reckon we just go for the highlights of what we think comes to our mind. But yeah, this list is just some prompts that I've got.
Prompts us then, what you're going to hit us with first.
Let's just we'll go with a highlight just to start us off. Jericho and Kevin Owens.
Okay, so before I came out today, I watched one moment because I thought I want to talk about that because that's been my favourite moment of the year so far, and it was the culmination of the Jericho Owens friendship. It was the festival of friendship back in February.
He knows the date of it.
I watched it this morning. It was on the network, wasn't it? I watched it again. It's so good. It makes me so happy just watching it.
Jericho coming out with his dancing girls, and he loves it.
He loves it. There's a bit at the start, like he comes out, he introduces it. Kevin Owens comes out, bit like, do we have to do this sort of thing? And he said it's just a little thing where he's like he links one of the Vegas girls, and Kevin Owens is like, no, I'm not. And it's like to the girl and just says, you just go. I'm just gonna walk behind. And Jericho says, fine. Links them both and just struts off down the. Oh, it's so good. He's so happy, and it's a great bit anyway. The whole festival. But it was a great way to finish something that was one of our favourite things throughout last year. All the best friends stuff and all the stuff they were doing. It just finished brilliant. It was so good. It stands up even watching it again.
Do you think that it was slightly diluted by the fact that was it Jericho that turned on? Yeah, Jericho turned on Owens like a few weeks beforehand.
They did that swerve kind of thing, didn't they? I remember at the time thinking, oh, they've messed this up. Why have they done it like that? But I think they saved it with the fact that it was his plan all along. He'd done it. He turned on him, kept him the belt. Kevin Owens was surprised by it, and Jericho was like, I told you.
Yeah.
We've got him again. I remember at the time being fucking fuming, to be honest with you. But no, I think it was good how they did it. All of it was good.
Even with, because I don't know whether it would have been better or actually perfect as it was. The fact that Owens was kind of, God, this fucking friendship stuff is really getting annoying now. The way that they had the whatever it is, the painting from the Sistine Chapel thing.
They have the sculpture from Ralph Guggenheim, an original Guggenheim, which cost him $7,000. Then
which he still owes him, by the way.
Yeah. We've got the creation of Kevin, which was the ceiling Sistine Chapel thing, which is he says you can put it up in your house, and he says, I can't. I've got 2 kids. You're not even wearing any pants. And then Jericho says, it's art. You don't need pants. Brilliant. Oh, it's so good. And then the magician comes out, and he put his shit and he puts him on the list. And then Gilbert comes out, and the crowd are loving that. And then when he actually he gives him the new list and it's got his name on it, the crowd reaction, and it was bigger than mine at the time. I was like,
it was horror, wasn't it?
It was sheer horror.
Which I think
it was Red Wedding kind of horror.
Yeah, when wrestling's done well, it's all the emotions. You won't know.
No.
when wrestling's done well, it hits all the emotions, and it flipped from comedy to horror just like that. And
Perfect. You're in, weren't you?
Yeah.
And then the assault after is fucking brutal as well.
Yeah,
Through
and then
the screen and everything.
it harks back to what Jericho did to Shawn Michaels, and
all sorts of stuff.
They get so much wrong, WWE.
Yes.
You know, if you listen to this podcast, you know they do. But lightning strikes sometimes, and they get it so. There's no way I could book anything better than that.
No.
No one could book anything better than that. How it was booked.
And that's what people do, don't they? They sit there and there's a lot of things, we do it ourselves, how do you do it better, or we would have done this, or it would have been good if they'd done that. No, well done. Well done. I loved it, and it is still my favourite moment of the year so far. There has been one or two other things that have made me like happy in wrestling this year, but nothing really compared to this for me. I thought it was just brilliant.
If I could kind of take it one step further, then there is one thing I would do to improve it, and this is kind of a segue into another point.
It was too good for him.
No,
I hate it when it's too good and people like things too much.
No.
Go on.
So, the fact that these two looked like they were going to be a great feud, and Kevin Owens is Universal Champion, and then it just kind of fizzled out, became piss and drivel, and became United States Championship, which we knew it just wasn't going to be as big of a thing. We wanted to see that match and probably Jericho win for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. But what did happen was Goldberg came back, beat Kevin Owens, and then we went Goldberg-Lesnar at Mania.
Yeah, they fucked it.
Yeah, that feud should have been for Universal title. But in that moment, in that episode of Raw, and it's that segment.
That's the thing, like...
Forget what came before, then what happened afterwards. Perfection. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was brilliant. But, yeah, I agree with that. And that was one of the things, because that was February, obviously, and you start thinking about Mania, we do anyway, we try and think what's going to be going on. And that was something that we'd all decided we wanted. We'd even come up with some good ideas about how to do it, to make it seem feasible. And then even like listening to other people on other things and stuff like that, they were having little idea, wouldn't it be good if that? And it was like, yeah, that would be good as well. And yeah, you could do it.
Yeah.
They missed such a big trick doing Owens Jericho for the belt and Jericho winning it at Mania, because it was perfect how they were doing it. It was so good. The whole with them being friends for the best part of the year was brilliant. The end of it was brilliant. Even when he came back a little bit, he was still getting away with it. It was obvious really to do, and I don't know why they didn't do it. Well, it was to sell video games, but
I think
they fucked it for me.
Well, I think that this is what we need to talk about next. Probably is just I get why they thought the Lesnar Goldberg feud needed a belt, because I don't see those two fighting. I don't see any justification for it. I don't see any justification in Lesnar ever having a match unless it's for a championship.
I don't agree. I'm sorry, Tim. I don't.
That's all right.
I don't. I'm the exact opposite. I think like because it's Lesnar, and because we said on here as well, like he doesn't really need a belt because he's like the Asuka of it, I suppose. He's who beats Lesnar sort of thing with it. So don't give him the belt. Just make him Brock Lesnar. It's about who's going to beat Brock Lesnar, the beast, the best, and all that kind of stuff. And having Goldberg try and do it, like you could still do that. Oh, I didn't like a lot of it at all. But if it hadn't been for the belt, I would have been more okay with it, because then it would have allowed.
It's not taken away from anyone else.
They could have had quite a good little thing, and it's like I'm the beast, no one can beat me. Oh yeah, but I used to be you back in the day, and I want to show my son that I can still do it, and I'm having one last run. Could have done all that.
I feel like kind of the justification there is, as much as we might not like that Lesnar's just taken the Universal title away, it makes it seem such a huge deal that someone like Lesnar will only come back for the World Championship. He's not going to faff about with other feuds and just matches for matches' sake, because he's a former UFC champion, genuine real world fighting championship, and now it feels like whoever eventually takes that off him, then the belt is going to be a big deal. Whereas We can talk about Jinder later. But I don't particularly mind Jinder being champion, but that could have been done so much better. Just build him up a little bit, make him a little bit more believable as champion before you just go 3-man band world championship. And I think.
Well, let's talk about that then. Let's talk about Jinder because that's been a big thing.
Okay. Yeah, out of nowhere, I think.
Out of nowhere, angered a lot of people, myself included, just because it was like, what? There's so many. They've got so many people on their roster now. They've got 100 people. There's so many people who are more deserving in putting the time in, being on TV, having better matches, whatever. Every little box that you should probably tick to be the champ, I think should have got it before him.
Yeah.
And it, like you say, it was like, who's this guy? He's losing literally every match against literally anybody.
He was jobbing so much on Raw.
Yeah, anyone.
Jobbing so much.
Apollo Crews, he'd lose to him. Kalisto, people like that, he'd be losing against shit people because he was one of them. He was one of the shit people. He was the filler match in the 3rd hour of Raw when you're getting a bit tired, you're getting fed up, and watch, just put them out before we do the thing at the end.
Yeah.
And then he was the champ. It was shocking, and it got people talking, but it made a bit of a mockery of the whole thing for me. Like, what? There's no story, like, for all these people. Like, I think at the time I was thinking maybe Sami Zayn. Like, he's a great wrestler. He's kind of been treading water for a long time. He hasn't won anything. He hasn't had a US title. He hasn't had an IC title. He hasn't had anything. And then this guy who was way below him has been springboarded over the top of him. It just made no sense, like, for me.
Well, for me, it did make sense, but it made sense in that, and it kind of touches back to the last 2 points we talked about as well, that WWE is a business.
Yeah.
And they put the belt on Goldberg to sell video games, to make themselves more money, to make their Universal title seem more prestigious, to sell more tickets and to have more pay-per-view buys and more network subscriptions. And they did the Jin thing because they were going to tour India.
And it's just a general network expansion thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, 1.3 billion people, is it something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
1% of them people subscribe to the network, they're in,
A lot of money.
They're in a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me in that respect that it's a business, and I think I always have to. Anytime I get carried away, going, oh, they could do this, oh, they could do that, oh, this would be great. You've got, no, it's a business. It's a business that needs to do what's best for business.
I totally agree with that, and you are 100% right. But how shit is that? How shit is this creative, story-driven, great athletes, all this kind of stuff? Yeah, you're not getting any of that now because we have to make some money.
Well, I think that's where my view comes into it, that I like the fact that he won it unexpectedly, because I think that makes it seem like... I always come back to I'm not going to remember any of the details of this because it was a long time ago, but I heard a story probably on the Jericho podcast where he was talking about like a big change in the Japanese fanship when at some point, like, everybody knew certain matches, especially World Championship matches, were going to go an hour. So nobody was really invested the first half an hour or so. For some people, they'd go to the concession stands and stuff at the start of the match. So this particular company in Japan finished a match within the first few minutes, and from that point on, everything changed. Then fans are fully invested right from the beginning, and I think they've done an important thing by putting Jinder as champion. Probably better. I always compare him to when Khali came in and was just champion just to do something really different. But now we kind of think, okay, well, anybody gets, if they've managed to get a fluke opportunity, which happens occasionally, like Ellsworth had chances, maybe someone could actually win it. For me, what went wrong was what they did afterwards, and it's all been Randy Orton. I reckon it would have made sense to make Jinder, if you want him as champion, make him like a superhero. Let him take out 3 big guys rather than just boring Randy Orton for month upon month.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't like how they did it in the first place, and when he actually won it, I was like, for fuck. And my brother texted me and said, I'm never watching this again. Straight out, he was like, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't mind him as the champ though. I don't mind him at all. For me, he's like when Del Rio was the champ.
Yeah.
Or when JBL was the champ. Someone like that who's not particularly good, I don't think. But if you get the kind of character right, and I think Jinder has, I think he's got it spot on.
Yeah, he has, absolutely.
He's good.
Yeah.
So,
I dare say.
and then you start building it a little bit, like with the Singh brothers and all that kind of stuff. I think they've done it pretty well.
Yeah.
And I don't mind him being the champ. I agree. And then, I totally agree with... Some people like Randy Orton, I think.
Casual fans like Randy Orton.
Casuals and kids like...
Casuals, females and kids.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
Randy
yeah.
Orton.
I agree with that. And that's why... But yeah, it's gone on...
That's
we all know it's
been,
gone on too long.
Yeah, that's been the big misstep. It's not putting Jinder as the champ. I don't think that was a misstep at all. Because he's good.
He's done well
He's
with
good.
it.
He looks the part, he acts the part. It's the opponent he's been given. Well, the opponent he's been given.
Yeah, they could have done a lot more. The one thing, like what you're saying, Tim, as well, about like it being unexpected, I'm all for unexpected. I think doing like this, like someone getting an opportunity out of nowhere, it'd make more sense if you're doing that with a face, because then it's the whole Rocky kind of storyline, the Cinderella story. If you're doing a Cinderella story with somebody who you're not supposed to like, it kind of misses a bit for me. For saying it again, rubbish, but there you go. If Sami Zayn had somehow got this title shot out of nowhere and somehow managed to win it, everyone would have been like, brilliant, I think.
You take a heel and turn them good. Like, along the process of, like, they're all heelish and they're angry and stuff, but then they have this bit of success. It overwhelms them initially, but then they kind of become it and they become a bit of a superhero and start to, that's a cool storyline then.
It's kind of what they did with Stone Cold to a certain degree.
Well, yeah, but
I know,
if Stone Cold
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying, do
definitely.
that. That's fucking brilliant.
The problem, of course, though, is that, or rather the benefit to Stone Cold is that he's American.
He is.
If he'd have been Indian, he'd have been heel and just stayed heel.
Well, should we move on slightly then from Jinder with that and just talk about how it is 2017 and for some reason this isn't a positive?
No, this is not the best of at all.
So it's 2017 and for some particular reason WWE have gone back to 1990 and they are still doing
racism.
We decided it was more xenophobic. Xenophobic than anything.
I can pronounce
else.
that word.
You could actually just call it plain ignorance. Let's not put any extra labels on it.
And it seems to be like if you've made Jinder this thing and you're trying to sell him to India as your superhero. Look, even someone from your country can be the champ. Don't make him a dickhead.
Coming out of you people, and now I'm just going to alienate these people who are actually here. Yeah. I'm going to talk to people in my language, but I'm only going to say 4 words because that's all I'm allowed to say.
And one of the words will be Randy Orton.
And the other will be Punjabi.
Yeah.
Punjabi.
So yeah, and they've done this like, I love Rusev, love him. He has been one of my highlights of the year with handsome Rusev and his little bits where he was trying to put Lana in the film Shawn Michaels. Little bits like that have been so good because Rusev is so good. His Instagram posts and Twitter posts are fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Rusev as champion would be so good if he was just himself turned up. None of this heel Bulgarian Russian bullshit.
Yeah.
Just the goofy kind of guy.
So good because he's still a badass. He's not gonna beat people up.
You could make him the brute and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's a badass. And make him the champ, and then do that for about a year where people can't beat him and all that kind of stuff. If Lesnar fucks off, then maybe do it. And then slowly start bringing in being goofy and all this kind of stuff. It'd be really good because
you've got a hot face in your hands.
Exactly, and this is one of the things that. Moving on quickly from the xenophobic thing that's been going on, I feel like this year they've really misused people. I think more so than we only started this last year. Last year I don't remember them being like just messing people up so
Yeah,
much than they have
major
done this year.
misbookings.
Yeah.
Like, I think they bungled Ambrose's champ last year a little bit, but apart
Yeah.
from that, can't really think of anything that was like horribly booked.
And then this year, like Nakamura, I think they've messed up. To be honest, Rusev they've messed up. Zayn again, I think they've messed up. They don't know what they're doing with Seth Rollins a lot of the time this year. Bailey has been completely.
There's a whole
Well,
other podcast to itself.
Yeah.
These are all points we can get into.
But the general thing is like just missed opportunities with great people. Most of them have come up from NXT,
Yeah.
and they've messed it up somehow.
I think I don't know if there's anything you can do with Randy Orton at this point. I don't like.
No, Randy
if
Orton's somebody who comes on and it's like, oh, Randy Orton's there, and he sells tickets because everybody knows who Randy Orton is,
Yeah.
and he's a name and he's a face, isn't he? That's it now. He's not gonna.
He's alright to trot out
Yeah.
a couple of times a year.
Well, that's what I mean. The fact that this is one of the most poorly used talents, I think, because he's
there too much.
Well, because I mean, one of the points I've got here that kind of it culminates and connects because he's now just started this feud with Rusev.
It was one of like your kind of feuds on like a wrestling game or something. It'd be like, oh, and then somebody comes out. Like, yeah, but why? Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Why?
matter.
They just
Doesn't
come
matter
out,
why.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, well, that's not. Oh no, it'd be good.
I think that this is exactly the same thing happened. I think it was Benoit and Angle like just before WrestleMania, some 15 years ago, whenever it was. Benoit was in the ring, I think, on the Go Home show of Raw before WrestleMania, and just said, "I haven't got an opponent. Why?" And Angle came out and like, "Oh, I'll do it." It was like seriously, that was the whole idea, and that's basically what happened. Rusev
At
came.
least those two though might have had some previous.
Yeah,
I'm surprised if Rusev didn't just go, yeah,
Who
who are you?
I already thought, by the way, that match that it was it's not Jason Jordan, the other one, Chad Gable. He basically just came out with Kurt Angle's moveset, did that in that match, but immediately I thought, why are they having this match? Because surely both of them need to win. Because Gable's like supposed to be like, okay, I'm going to take on this challenge as a singles competitor. I'm going to overcome. So he needs to start beating people. Rusev's just come off this stupid loss to Cena and this stupid flag match bullshit. And now Rusev wins, fair enough. But then Randy Orton comes out.
And then just buries him.
Basically. But the point is I brought Randy up is because I think he's been overused, wrongly used since the Rumble.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have won the Rumble and done a whole lot of shit. I blame everything negative in WWE right now on Randy Orton winning the Rumble.
I think that we always do our reviews of the pay-per-views and all that kind of stuff. And we've had some absolute fucking shockers, as we know. But nothing will beat that Rumble. The last 5 minutes of that Rumble, when Roman came out as number 30, and everyone just went. The anger. We don't watch a lot of the pay-per-views together, but we watched that one, and it was just like, right, who's it going to be? Well, it's got a.
So many it could have been. And
And we're all like that. Who's it going to be?
Awesome people that weren't used.
And it was
surprise comebacks, all that, and then it's what the guy just lost the match.
And literally, there was only 3 of us watching it, but us 3 and the 18,000 in that arena all said, "For fuck's sake!" at exactly the same time. Every single one, and there was like, did you see on like Twitter or whatever it was? People watching it in bars, just throwing glasses at the screen, just the anger and the hate and everything. And it was like, right, well, he's out. This is the shittest thing I've ever seen. Okay, Undertaker's still there. He could win this, and then he's going to retire soon. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if he wins the Rumble, this is the only way they can say Roman's thrown him out. Roman's thrown him out.
Straight away.
We were hoping at this point for maybe Undertaker, or I was anyway, Undertaker Cena for the championship at WrestleMania. Maybe Taker wins it and retires straight away. All of these cool things that could have happened.
So it was in the order. So like first to like then the next thing. And then the next thing. So Roman comes out, hate. He then throws out the Undertaker, somehow taking it up. And then Randy wins the whole thing out of nowhere.
How did that building not get burnt down?
I had no idea. And I totally agree with what you said, because the possibilities going into that Royal Rumble match for this entire year
were huge.
Endless,
we were
really.
so excited about this Rumble because, like I said, there were so many different outcomes that could happen, and there were so many. It was the most kind of packed superstar kind of packed Rumble we had for a long time.
That's what they were selling it as well. It was genuinely like there was maybe 3 or 4 you thought, well, they might win,
but there's
it could be
10 or 12 top guys in there.
Yeah,
and from there, it was like that. It's like sliding doors kind of thing, like with Gwyneth and all that kind of stuff.
Punjabi prison doors, yeah.
Everywhere. The whole year could have been so much different if they'd done that event differently.
Yeah, I wasn't making a joke when I said everything bad in WWE right now I blame on Orton winning the Rumble. In fact, not just that, but that pay-per-view.
That pay-per-view.
Everything that happened on that just upset everything. Because didn't Cena won the 16th championship there, but lost it 3 weeks later.
Yeah, to Bray.
To Bray, who eventually, which was awesome by the way. But
Yeah, Bray winning was awesome.
They immediately buried the fuck out of him, and then he just jobbed out to Orton until he disappeared, and then Punjabi prison.
If I can slyly segue into something there, even though there's a lot of shit that came out of the Rumble, I think one unexpected thing that we all loved that came out of that, and no one, a year ago, 6 months ago, no one would have predicted this.
I'm intrigued.
I am.
Cena Miz feud. That was brilliant.
Yes.
No one thought that would, like I said a year ago, no one thought that would be an amazing feud.
I would be as bold to say that after the Festival of Friendship, the Miz Cena whole feud, second favourite thing of the year.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
Fucking brilliant.
And who'd have thought that?
It was
After all that shit they got wrong, they got that fucking perfect.
Weird though, isn't it? How they did that, and how good has the Miz been this year?
Well, I've got on my list here. Total Bella's bullshit.
Total Bell's bullshit. How good was that?
John.
It was so good. that uttered your great line of, "I know Maurice was French." That's where that came from.
That was a great revelation for me as well. A year ago, if you told me she was French, I'd not shut up.
It was so good. Every part of it, because Total Bell's bullshit wasn't the start of that feud. That was
the culmination.
That was towards the end, and it went on for a long time. And then I remember we started building up on the road to WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff, because they'd fucked up so much of the other possibilities that we were looking forward to.
That was the shining light, wasn't
that
it?
That became the one match we were most looking forward to.
And it was never going to be a 5-star classic.
No, and we were okay with that.
We just knew it was going to be entertaining.
Because they'd done it so well, a little bit there, because it got real.
It got sassy.
It was
shit.
Miz on talking smack, so like talking about not having opportunities, and then it developed.
It got very personal.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
You can't have kids, he'll never marry you, all that kind of stuff.
and then I think everyone was predicting, everyone knew Cena and Nikki were going to win, but also I think a lot of people, definitely myself, I definitely said he's going to propose at the end of the match.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, nah, surely not. But it was actually good.
We all really cheered. It was really good.
That's a cool... I'm always banging on about variety over pay-per-views. If you can get something that huge and done well, you've got something that nothing else in the card is going to be the same as.
But here's the thing though, right? So we moan more than we are happy on this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's
I
mostly
think that's true with most wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Though. I don't think that's just unique to us.
But it's mostly to do with the fact that we think they've done it wrong, or often it's the build up for that match hasn't been good, sort of thing. They've messed it up. Why is it that they can get things like the Kevin Owens and Jericho thing, but for best part of a year and do it the whole time fucking brilliant? They fucked up the end, I know. And then get the entire Miz Cena, Maurice Nikki Bella thing. How can they get that whole thing spot on and then fuck up some
I've had an epiphany.
I'm going to clap that word. Well done.
Thank you.
Used appropriately. And pronounced expertly.
Thank you.
I used my words as well.
They were so right because they just left them to it. Jericho and Owens have got enough chemistry and are respected enough to go, all right, you two do what you want.
Yep.
And no one's writing a script for John Cena.
Nope.
I'm going to point out one sort of yes and no about that. That I think, yeah, they were left to it, but they also had some direction. Let's just say that. It was a little bit of control of their ideas rather than just giving them the ideas. Because, if you remember, the stuff where it got personal did get a bit repetitive at one point. I think like probably 3 back-to-back Raws.
Maybe.
Or was it SmackDowns? I think Nikki basically just had the same punchline.
Nikki, well, that was the thing. I think
she was the weak link.
She was a bit of a weak link, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she had to say something because it was always going to be 2-on-2 sort of thing.
And it was basically into yeah.
It was basically that.
What he said.
Yeah, it was a bit. But then
it doesn't make it bad. I just wanted to point that
No,
out.
I know what you mean, but I agree with the fact that I do they will have had a little bit of direction, especially with the Bells bullshit thing maybe and how to do it and that. But I agree with the fact that they are people who can just be left to it and trusted. And what you going to do this week? Well, we've had this idea where Miz is going to dress up like John Cena and do it. Yeah, go for it. Do it. How are you going to do it? I'm going to talk like this. Fucking go for it. And they did, and they let them do it. And following on from that, something we were enjoying, we've said about it very recently because it's still going on, but something that we think maybe started off as a good idea by the wrestlers and we fucking loved, and then somebody jumped on it.
Nice segue.
And now they fucked it up. I'm talking about the fashion police.
A lot of people are still loving this. Like it's
I
still
did
the best
enjoy
thing
the last week's. I did enjoy the
week's.
Twin Peaks references.
I quite liked that one.
It had its moments, but I think firstly, if you've never watched Twin Peaks, you lose it.
You need to know what it is.
But the weirdness was kind of interesting, but I don't want to run the risk of taking things too seriously. But I think, okay, if the Ascension's going to do that kind of mind control weird bullshit, then they have to run with that now, because otherwise
the Ascension was just in the dream.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even if
it's supposed to mess your head up. It's Twin Peaks style.
I know, but it's just weird.
It's supposed to be weird.
And well, that's what I mean. I'd never watched Twin Peaks. I didn't know that, so I was detached from it.
Yeah. And a lot of people won't. So
yeah, but it's kind of like the new series has just come out, or is coming out, so it's kind of in the zeitgeist.
And for those who don't get it, the kids will just be like, "Oh, this is funny. What's it?"
Yeah, I said zeitgeist.
Great word.
Please acknowledge them. I need encouragement.
No, yeah, good. So yeah, that was the thing though. Like, we were loving the Fashion Police to begin with, and it's just kind of trailed off, hasn't it? And it stopped being.
And it's
funny.
reversed my theory, because at first,
go on,
they were left to it, I think.
Yeah.
And then someone got involved and ruined it. I think I'm sticking with this theory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what
I'm gonna start like conspiracy theory thing on YouTube.
Separate podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know with this whether they ran out of platform rather than someone coming in and controlling them, which may have happened or may not. I don't know. But they might have been just told you have your segment, go for it. But they've not been allowed to go any further with it. Like they haven't been given significant in-ring opportunities, so they're never gonna become contenders for the tag titles. Plus, that would be kind of weird anyway. And the people they've been getting involved with, I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. They haven't been interesting, or they haven't been people in interesting storylines or been interesting characters. Like I said, it would be cool if they got involved with Kevin Owens or Chris Jericho or just someone higher up.
That's the thing. They did it like maybe that could be it as well. They were only allowed to go so far with it, and it wasn't allowed to become this big thing. And I think it could have been a really big thing because people, not just us, genuinely loved it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like saying there about they weren't going to go for the titles. I think if it was about now and they carried this on and they had been doing more stuff, there's no reason why they couldn't be going for the titles in a big,
underdog kind of story.
Underdog kind of story, big feel good win at SummerSlam. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
I think I said at the start it'd be good if they did it through, just keep building it till the whole year sort of thing. And if you've got 2 tag titles on the line at WrestleMania, why can't they win one of them?
But now they're not doing anything different with it, are they?
No, and they're not going to go any further with it, and it's going to die pretty soon.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Tim. Like the interaction with the other people is the key there.
Yeah.
Like, I think the highest they got was the New Day when they had those interactions with the New Day. That was great, but I don't think they're going to let them play with anyone else.
The New Day are the perfect example because they started off heel, so it's a bit different, but they got interaction with more significant.
Yeah, they started beating up John Cena and getting involved in the main event.
That's how they got so over.
Yeah, missed that, but again, I feel like missed opportunity where they messed it up.
I think maybe if I can kind of slightly look at this on the bright side, they're hanging from a thread, so I don't think it's done.
No, it could sit around.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I quite liked the last one.
Yeah.
So it's I'm still there. So
I'm still I still tune into that bit because I want to see what they're doing.
I like the missing for 25 years thing on the side.
That's the bit I like, the silliness.
Yeah.
The just the complete silliness of it. There's a room for silliness in wrestling.
So just put them in a room with Brock Lesnar, because holy fuck, what happens then?
Brock don't do silly.
No, he doesn't. That's how good it would be.
It would be funny just to look at him. And just to see him just go like that,
the whole,
and just walk out, and that would be gold from Brock Lesnar.
10 seconds of a scene. They're just having a conversation in the corridor. It follows them into a room. They see Brock Lesnar. Nope, walk out again.
Yeah, you do
just that.
And he just goes to Paul Heyman. Who the fuck are they?
Yeah.
Or maybe just be like, I'm loving the t-shirt and the shorts, Brock, and then they run away. Just some kind of, they have to make a fashion comment. Like, great suit, Paul. Run out.
Something like that. But following from that then, because I think this is good.
Segueing again.
I'm trying to segue again because I think the main thing is that those two, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, are funny guys. Them, like, character-wise, funny guys. And they did Southpaw Regional Wrestling this year. I know. There you go. Wearing the t-shirt. What? They could do some more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that was good as well. You're wearing the t-shirt.
I loved it. That was...
Fandango.
Thank you for segueing into that, because that was one of my most favourite things this year.
Fandango was one of the main guys for that, and he cracks me up when he's doing the Fashion Police. Give him like more stuff.
I think that's why them two got the license to get to do with the Fashion Police. I had no idea why they decided to do this, but they just started putting these weird videos on YouTube for no reason at all.
Yeah.
I honestly, in my dream world, I'd love to think that Breeze, Fandango, Rusev, Jericho, Cena were all just having a few beers and then just decided we're going to do this and got a video camera and just fucking did it.
Yeah.
Just for the fucking fun of it.
I used to do a lot of videos, films and stuff in college and uni, and it felt like one of those, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? No one else might get it, but...
There's literally no reason for them to do this, but they did it and it was so funny, and you could tell how much fun they're having. Rusev trying to keep a straight face as the fucking farmer.
Yeah.
Through the whole Jericho
The club
thing.
were good in it. And I've not been a big fan of the club this year at all.
Another example of misused talent.
Yeah, there you go.
They are a very good tag team. That fact they are. But shit, they've been booked like nothing.
And I think the club both ways, like as the badasses, could be pretty good.
Yeah.
On the Southpaw thing, funny guys, and when you see them on, like, I thought they were quite good on the ride along and things like that.
Yeah.
Funny guys, but when they were told you're going to be funny now, and they were doing, I think it might have even been last year this part,
They're
but
dressing up like
when they were doing the doctors and shit like that, it wasn't funny. Let them, they're capable to just go off and do it.
Again, you could tell that was scripted for them.
Yeah. But then Southpaw felt like they were just kind of doing it themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just so good. And the punchline was fucking brilliant. The punchline to it was brilliant. It was so clever writing. You know, if that was like Rick and Morty or South Park, everyone would be like, oh, well, this is the greatest TV show ever, and this, that, and the other. It's such a clever punchline that you don't see coming.
They might bring it back though, they might do it again.
I hope so.
I think they might.
I don't see why not, really.
But yeah, why the fuck did they do that?
I don't know.
It's crazy, but
if you know why, thankful. Let us know, because we really enjoyed it.
Because that definitely was the best for business. Well, saying that, I went and bought a shirt, so maybe.
Well, there you go.
That's not you.
I buy anything though, don't I?
You've got no disposable income. Give wrestling shirts and comics. Kids gotta eat.
What else we got? They could eat comics.
I'm having a look. So there are quite a lot of stuff.
I've got one.
Go for it.
Okay, so something that's been
eat a cake at this
an ongoing story really throughout. Yeah, eat the cake. Throughout the year. And it was one of our thoughts about the Rumble, so it started way back when. because we thought this person might come back for the Rumble, and we were like, what if it'd be this person? This would be really good. They could fight this person at Mania. This would be great. It'd be great to see him. Apparently, they're getting on with Vince again and all that kind of stuff.
That little run would have been better if it rhymed.
All that kind of stuff.
Think of that next time.
I don't need to rhyme for you. I rhyme when I want to. To who I want to, Tim. Kurt Angle came back.
Did.
Which was brilliant. We're all very pleased to see him. I think we're all in agreement that that you can't eat cakes like an adult. We know that.
It's like he's forgotten that we're recording this
side there.
and it's live on YouTube.
Yeah. I eat cakes. Kurt Angle came back. We all like him. We all loved him. We all had big plans for him when he got back. It was nice to see him at the Hall of Fame, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant. Then he got given the general manager of Raw job. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Loving it. I loved his speech at the Hall of Fame. Did all these funny bits. Interesting way to go. What did you think of it at the time? Okay, eating the cake.
He's just giving a thumbs up.
Because he didn't do that. Because at the time I remember thinking like, oh, I wanted to cry at his speech or something. I wanted it to be like this emotional return. And he was doing sexy Kurt and wearing a cowboy hat.
That was the thing.
How different.
It made me... I enjoyed it for what it was, but it made me think, or it made me question what he thinks of his career compared to what we think. Because as much as he had some cool, funny moments, so did The Rock and Austin. But when I think of those guys... In fact, when I think of all three, I think of the cool moments. I think of Kurt Angle, I think against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania.
I think Milk Truck.
Okay, but that's a cool thing that comes up as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost as if Kurt thought that was the best stuff I did, like just the funny stuff. And I think aside from the fact that he was hardly used on Raw when he first came in, I think that's kind of the route he's going now. It's like he's been warming up from that speech to do more comedy stuff.
Right. Well, let's do that then. So, liked his speech. Different, funny, okay, good. Gets the Raw job, brilliant. He's sticking around. We're gonna get to see him every week. Maybe a bit too sparingly at first. He could have done it a little bit better, I thought, when he arrived. He kind of moved on, and now Jason Jordan's his son, and I didn't see that coming. I don't know about you. And I just feel like you said, oh, maybe he's going a bit more comedy. He was fucking crying in the ring at Jason Jordan being his son the other week. I think, I hope not. I hope not. But I can't see this ending well in any way.
I can't imagine when they were negotiating with him to come back. They were like, right, we'll put you in the Hall of Fame.
Brilliant. Yes.
You'll be part of the game. The 2K18. You'll be downloadable content on there.
Ron Simmons is your dad, that kind of thing.
I can't imagine at any point they pitched that to him.
No.
To try and convince him, oh yeah, and we'll have this guy to be your illegitimate son.
He would have fucking loved it, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he was all over this stupid comedy stuff and he remembers that as being the best stuff he did back in the day, Vince says, Kurt, I know we've been umming and ahhing about, are you going to come back? We've got something to add to your contract.
Oh, is it a feud with Triple H at Mania?
He'd probably be...
No, it's not that.
I bet that was on the table, and he'd be like, yeah, well, you've got to pay me this amount, and Vince is like, it's probably not worth quite that much, we'll carry on negotiating. Then Vince goes, we're going to give you Jason Jordan as your illegitimate son.
What about Chad Gable? That'd probably be more like, no. People will see that coming.
That's what I mean. That I reckon... I don't know, obviously we're just speculating here, but I reckon Kurt Angle would have jumped on this.
Really? Do you not think he had enough of that shit in TNA?
No, I think he's all over it.
I don't think he'll have jumped. I think he'll have jumped on it in the meeting round the table and gone, yeah, Vince, that's a great idea. And then he's gone home and gone, fucking hell.
That's right, let's hope he forgets that. Let's hope he forgets that third bit you mentioned.
Yeah. Have you seen that picture they posted though? I don't know if it was Kurt who posted it, or it might have been Jason Jordan. They just posted a picture. And it just said family time, and it was the whole family with his wife, his little actual kids, and then Jason Jordan.
Do you see how good this is?
Yeah, it's funny.
Those kids must be confused as fuck.
I know. Right Some of them are only like 4 or 5, and they're like, Big Brother Jason.
Oh God.
It's very funny, and we're laughing at that.
Why is he not the same colour as us?
Yeah. It
doesn't need to be that way. If Jason Jordan's mum was black, Jason Jordan comes out looking like Jason
Yeah,
Jordan.
no, I get that, but it's
not-
just...
You get that, do you? You're okay with the genetics. I
No,
don't
I'm
like
just saying
it.
how confusing that must be for a 4-year-old.
The problem is,
It's
more than
colour.
anything else, is the storyline that this new Hall of Famer, this Olympic gold medalist, this bona fide superstar has been given is the illegitimate son storyline. I'm sorry, that's dog shit. That's awful pantomime shit.
It's a bad way to use
It's
it.
daytime soap, it's Attitude Era bullshit, it's the bad part of the Attitude Era, that kind of stuff. It's awful. I don't. If they do that thing with Jason
with
Jordan,
Diamond
getting the push, and I did like that idea about him. Suddenly he's going to be the IC champ, and then he's going to be the Universal champ, and all that kind of stuff. Again, the only reason I would like that is the ridiculousness of it. I wouldn't like it in a good way. It'd just be like, and I feel bad for Kurt Angle being lumbered with it more than anything. Oh, credit to Jason Jordan. Well done. You're hanging out with Kurt Angle, your hero. Brilliant. Have a great time. Well done. Kurt Angle, he's better than that for me.
I think too much, and I'm not like defending it really, but I think too much is being given to the silliness of it, just because I think it doesn't work in today's wrestling world because social media and things. We've seen pictures of Jason Jordan's dad. We know that that's the case, but this is perfectly plausible. Really, it just is.
It's really not.
No,
In any way.
the ages match up. It's not like Jason Jordan's as dark as Booker T.
Right?
He could have a white dad and a
Yeah,
black
he
mum.
could.
So what? It happens. Yeah.
No, I don't
it's
mean
that-
like this like in life. This doesn't happen.
Well, that's what I mean.
Some people that live near me, they've got some news to come. I think.
I think your point is get someone else to do that storyline, not Kurt Angle.
No, my point is, it's 2017. Do not, in this real new era of wrestling, that was, like you say, social media, this and all that kind of stuff, don't have an absolute joke of a storyline that involves illegitimate anything. Don't do it.
Is it a joke when that happens in real life?
Well, no, it's not. It's a very serious
So
topic.
so why? So it's a serious thing.
It's not. It's ridiculous.
Because we
Because
all
we
know
know
he's not actually his son.
A couple of months previous, he was at there with his own family and all that kind of stuff, and suddenly it just so happens that someone who also works at WWE has become his son.
Like, I'm sure that's probably happened in
It's
real
daytime TV soap.
But
It's awful for me.
You know, I'm gonna like just to kind of jump in defense of this because this is the kind of thing that you would say to me if I had a problem like this.
Yeah.
You know, Undertaker's not dead, right?
When did he come into wrestling?
Not the point.
It is. I'm talking about eras of it all. I knew Duke the Dumpster wasn't really a bin man. I know Kane didn't have that, but at that time in wrestling, it's fine for him to wear a mask. It's fine that Mick Foley lived in the boiler room. It's fine, whatever. Now it's not. It's not that era of wrestling anymore. So to have a ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's silly. It is silly.
The Wyatt character's been really good. It's had
They messed it up and made it silly.
Yeah, they've given him magic and stupid shit like that. But Bray Wyatt as this like weird cult leader.
It's weird.
like
yeah,
that,
some weird sort
like
of country bumpkin.
Yeah, I like that.
I always think about. Have you seen True Detective? The first series.
I got fed up.
Like the main villain in that was a Bray Wyatt kind of bumpkin kind of guy.
I didn't mind that. I like that.
I think
it just seems silly.
You don't like it because it's the reality era and it's a bit daytime soap. I don't like it because it's Kurt Angle. I think you just do that with someone else. Like Kurt's too good of a talent. I think
that's why I was pointing out the fact that Kurt Angle chose to do his Hall of Fame speech the way that he did, whether he considers himself a comedy talent.
But then, so do you think then? I think it's silly and it's going to be the funny thing and all that. They're not playing it like that at the moment. What do you think is the plan with this? Do you think they're going to make it this comedy thing? He's his son, and they're going to have some fun and all that, or are they going to keep doing what they've done so far? We're only a month into it, whatever it is, and it's like, oh, I'm really emotional. This is my son.
I think that they will. I think right now, I don't have as much of a problem with it as you guys do.
Yeah.
Because I think there is potential to do it well. I think they'll fuck it up by doing the reality era thing where they just let it be whatever it is. Some people will like it, some people will love it, some people will fucking hate it, some people will laugh at it, some people will think it's serious. And they'll just leave it right down the middle.
Essentially something for everyone.
But they think Roman Reigns is that. They think Randy Orton's that. They think John Cena 5 years ago was that.
Yeah.
And it's just boring and shit. And I think that's more likely where this will go.
Well, shall we do another podcast in a bit? Not like now, but where we talk about things that they might do with things. We'll do that.
That's a great idea.
I don't know. What do you think?
Definitely.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
So
stay tuned. So
In
we'll do
order,
this one
yeah.
first, and then we'll do that one.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about that's happened this year?
Can we talk about the fact that Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, have both tried to kill each other at different times, and they both involved ambulances, which were just obviously in WWE stock rooms somewhere.
You got to have an ambulance at an event just in case, haven't you? So
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's like in
Safety
football
first.
now and stuff, innit? After pitch.
How long has this feud been going on for now?
Since February.
6.5 years.
Okay.
Since February 2011.
It's such a long one, and I didn't think.
That,
It
by
had
the way,
legs.
is what she said. Carry on.
I thought you were going to point out my maths then. It's actually 6.5 years ago, 2011.
Well played.
Quick.
That's what she said.
I'm a bit fed up of it now, I think. And it's still going.
It needs to come to an end very quickly.
It can now.
I hope. I hope
With one of them being viciously murdered.
But this is what's happened a lot this year
By
as well.
Rock.
We've thought like, oh, it's over now. It never is. Because he's not done with you.
I've enjoyed most of it, you know.
I've enjoyed some of it.
I've
enjoyed
liked the
3/4 of it.
Okay, we're doing fractions now.
Yeah.
You do yours as a fraction. I'll say I've enjoyed probably about 60%.
I'll go for a decimal. I'm going to go 0.9.
Wow. That's almost a whole one.
Yeah, for what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think some of it's been a bit silly. It hasn't made me like Roman anymore, and I think that's probably what it was designed
But it's
to
made
be.
me like Strowman.
Yeah.
It's got Strowman.
How
over.
weird's that? Because I don't think when they set out with this, that was the plan.
No.
I think the plan was, let's get this big beast of this monster among men to beat up Roman, and then everyone will like Roman. No.
And what they've inadvertently found is that if you beat up Roman Reigns, you will get over.
Yeah.
There you go. And they've done it well. He's done well with it, Strowman. He has played it pretty well. Yeah, the attempted murders was pushing it a little bit, again, in this day and age.
They're also weak ones, because flipping over an ambulance, like, Reigns will literally have just, like, fallen over, maybe, or he held on to something, in which case, just didn't have any impact whatsoever.
It was when he pushed him off the ramp on the stretcher.
Yeah.
He could have died off that because he was all strapped in. If he'd gone over, he broke his neck. That would have been it. I know it was a dummy.
And then, ramming the back of an ambulance isn't going to kill you as well.
There's probably a fair... This is the issue of the Punjabi prison and the Elimination Chamber, that the impacts look like shit, but probably are pretty bad. So I think if you ram... I think that impact probably could have been pretty bad.
It would be bad. But then Roman's still supposed to be a good guy when he's doing all
Yeah,
this.
that was the problem.
I found that a gunshot to the face will kill me. I am surprised neither of these two have gone to that.
Yeah.
Tune in,
Just yet.
SummerSlam, 20th of August.
They could have like a dueling pistol match.
Roman and still come back at the end of the night.
Well, I've just had a brilliant booking idea for that podcast we're going to do in a bit now.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Keep it under wrap
it.
now.
I've
Yeah,
not
it
got a
has
hat.
been
Can I
pretty
keep it
good.
under yours? I've not got a hat.
No, I've got hat hair, so I'm keeping it. Yeah, that's been all right. It's been good. Someone who I've liked, who's been added to the mix, and someone who I don't think they've messed up with their opportunities is Samoa Joe since he's come in.
Debuted this year.
Debuted really well.
Took out Rollins as soon as he got there.
Really good.
Bit of a mistake.
But
literally took him out.
What made it seem really good in the end.
Which,
Yeah.
considering he eventually ended up in the path of Brock Lesnar, kind of makes sense that they'd book him legit.
He legit injures people. Well
Yeah.
done. Use it. The stuff he did with Heyman on that when he didn't have the microphone, he said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. This, that.
He's such a talent.
Brilliant. And they've used him really well. And I think he had a bit of almost a lucky escape, the fact that Triple H hasn't been around for it, because he could have easily just ended up being Triple H's lackey, his bodyguard or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was something that was going to happen at one point.
Yeah, it was
So
him and Kevin Owens and this
Yeah.
little new evolution.
that didn't happen, did it? They must have
No.
thought better than that.
They cooled on the idea in the end.
Well, they
And
sent Owens over to SmackDown, haven't they? So.
And they've and right decision, I think, because it's
Yeah.
let Joe just go off, be they've used him the exact way. I've not seen him as much as you have in things like TNA and stuff like that, but I watched a lot of him in NXT, and they've used the NXT model for him, and just gone with that, and pretty much maybe changed it slightly, just enough, and they've done it really well. I don't see why they couldn't do that for the others.
I was a little bit gutted at the time that he wasn't involved with Mania, but I think he had a bit of a lucky escape there, because if he was going to be involved, it was going to be in this Triple H Owens Joe faction. But he wasn't involved because there was no reason for him to be involved, and Joe just went and did Joe things, and he doesn't answer to anyone, and he just does his own thing.
Yeah.
And
so it is kind of a lucky escape.
And his matches have been good. His mic work has been, I'll be honest, better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit grunt and move kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. But he's actually come out with some great
he has really
stuff.
come on, and honestly, that's because of NXT, I think. Because I remember in TNA, you did this thing for a while where he was the Nation of Violence, and he was wearing war paint on his face.
Okay.
It was after what were they called? The Main Event Mafia had beat him up and put him out for a couple of months, and he came back and he was like, "I'm super violent now. I'm really angry," and his promos were pretty poor because he was trying to be too angry and too intense.
That's what they've always said, though, isn't it? It's not. Back in the 80s, it was very bad guy shout. Now he's got the cold, calculated, badass thing.
You don't
down,
have to shout.
No,
you not have to shout. So when I was a kid, I was more scared of mum and dad when they talked to me in a calm manner than I was when they were shouting at me.
Still, and that's what you do.
When my mum sat me down and talked to me in a cold manner about what I'd done wrong, I was shitting myself.
Yeah, this is true.
So
it's scarier, isn't it?
They're just going rah 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 because it's just background noise.
Yeah. And have you taken that on now in your new role?
Oh yeah, I used my new role as a dad.
He does radio voice.
I'm also working my YouTube voice as well for my own separate channell.
Is there a different voice for YouTube? What's your YouTube voice?
YouTube voice. Can you do it yet?
And don't forget to like, click and subscribe. And now I'm going to talk about 10 minutes of things that you've clicked, but not talk about what you wanted to click for. That's my.
That sounds like you're having a go at somebody there.
No, that's just everyone on YouTube.
That is there's one particular guy.
Who is it?
I want to shoot in the face.
Who is it?
There's a guy who's pretending that he's got GTA 6, and he got sent it by Rockstar by mistake, and he's playing the game. But at no point do you ever see him playing the game.
Okay.
But he's got a shit box.
I thought you were going to do Ollie Davis. I'm Ollie Davis.
God. Fucking hell.
Fuck off.
Right,
no, because I want to segue into something else off the back of that. We've got into a few feuds this year.
Yes, we have. Should we list them? Actually, should we roll something along the screen?
People we've pissed off this year. So, just very quickly, because it's been very nice for us that people have actually recognised that we are dicks. Because a lot of people have thought it for a while, I can tell, but no, it's quite nice to be recognised for being dicks now. So we pissed off Taz this year.
Yeah, could we just recap these slightly?
Yeah, very quickly. We pissed off Taz because we all really enjoyed the UK Championship. It was back in February, March.
Yeah.
So we all really enjoyed that. Taz fucking hated it. And we told him he hated it, and then he hated us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he was saying, to be fair, he did have a fair point. Michael Cole's commentary on that night was pretty good. When he was with Nigel McGuinness doing the commentary, you could tell he'd done his research.
Okay. He knew what Blue Peter was, didn't he?
He knew what Blue Peter was. Still don't agree that he got the badge, though.
No, arsehole.
Did you notice that Nigel McGuinness still wears that Blue Peter badge, though?
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He still wears it.
That's good to know.
You see it on NXT every now and again. He's just got a little Blue Peter badge there in the corner, which I think is really sweet. But
go on.
Michael Cole was very good that night, but you made a point of Michael Cole being shit for every other night.
Yeah.
And Taz was just like, no, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I was like, he's probably a really nice guy.
And then what really
he's awful at commentary.
Yeah. And then what escalated it further was the fact that X-Pac had said something. And I was like, yeah, X-Pac, that's a very good point, well done, but Taz probably fucking hates it. And then Taz
slid into our DMs.
Taz thought us and X-Pac were kind of teaming up against him in some way.
No, I think he thought that we were attacking X-Pac. That's what he said. That's what he said to us.
Did it?
Yeah.
What a bullshitting liar!
He was sort of jumping to the defence of him.
It was very very clear the fact that we'd said, yeah, well, we agree, X-Pac.
It's because he didn't even read the messages because his producers noticed the tweets.
Yeah,
and then sent Taz.
He got some misinformation, but to be fair,
We kissed and made up a little bit.
Tim
Yeah.
did fucking kiss ass.
Well, I felt it was an opportunity because we were early days of the podcast
Yeah,
at that point. I didn't want him to just be like, fuck those guys, and just that's the end of that.
Yeah.
I don't want fucking Taz burying us. It's one thing if Cena or Triple H buries you, but if Taz does it.
At some point as well, this isn't a prediction show, but I reckon we try and reignite that feud.
Oh,
as the
hell
year
yeah.
goes.
No, we've moved on to Shane Douglas now.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Shane Douglas.
The franchise.
So, fucking ranchai. So we pissed off Taz, we kind of sorted it out, but fucking get over yourself. We also pissed off Stevie Wonder's people at one point because we used
his wonderful song.
what was it? Happy Birthday.
It was on his birthday.
Yeah, we used Happy Birthday on one of our podcasts.
Careful.
Yeah, you can only sing the first verse and a chorus. That's why you can't go more than that, otherwise you get pissed off.
Ah, okay.
That's why they only do that on like X Factor and shit.
Ah.
I don't know if it is. Yeah, his people were pissed, and they asked us to remove it from the YouTube.
The internet.
Dicks.
It was my birthday. They fucking ruined it.
Mm.
Stevie bastard.
I bet Stevie wouldn't have been asked either, really. It was just his people.
Yeah.
Who else have we pissed off? Anybody?
We got likes from Mojo.
Oh yeah, we
made friends with Mojo.
Mojo's loving our work a little bit.
He is a fan of the show.
Yep. And also Natalia was liking our work. Was that this year?
Yeah.
Was that maybe? That might have been ended.
No, it's back in the last year.
Was it? There you go. So
I don't know. I thought that was quite recent. Anyway.
So there you go. We've hung out with a few people.
You don't remember when I text everyone from the SmackDown Women's Division the same thing?
Yeah, and Natalia
was the only one to bite.
Right, I want to throw some kind of quick fire things just to finish up.
Quick fire round to finish off.
So
Like
first
it.
thing that comes into my empty red.
Done.
So the first thing that comes in.
So it's sort of
Sure.
NXT related things.
Okay.
So we've got people coming up from NXT.
Loved
things
it.
happening on NXT. First things first, DIY breaking up.
Brilliant.
Loved it.
It was really good. One of my favourite tag teams of the last
Few years.
Yeah, easily. Loved all their work. I think we gave a match of the year last year in our Trippy Awards ceremony. I think their match against Authors of Pain was excellent. Again, they were really good. And then the breakup
Shocking
of
twist.
it was brilliant.
Have they done anything since?
Ciampa has come back and said...
He cut a promo like
Yeah.
a couple of weeks after.
And just
Said his
said...
thing, and then Gargano's just come back.
So are they going to
So
do
it's
something
to be
at
continued, yes.
SummerSlam kind of weekend?
And nothing's been
No,
acknowledged between the two of them.
No, Ciampa's still out. He's going to be out for a
Oh,
while.
I think they're going to leave it for a little while, but
Save it for the prediction.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, loved them, and their feud when it does happen will probably be great. Yeah, that was one of my favourite moments of the year so far. That breakup thing,
Nice
and
and
how they did
unexpected
it.
as well.
Yeah, because I'd looked away because the thing had come up at the bottom.
Yeah.
The thanks for the WWE
Yeah.
sign at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you thought it was over.
I watched it with Tim, and Tim knew what was happening. And I was just babbling around, and he had this little smile on his face.
No.
And I didn't
No,
click at the time. Why?
I completely didn't. What
I
happened?
didn't click why.
What happened
'Cause
was
he's
I
a
had
small
a,
little-
I had an intentionally blank look on my face because I'm like, I'm basically just saying with my body language, keep watching. But that was
Yeah,
it.
I didn't click it. It was only in retrospect that I clicked what you were
Yeah.
doing. And I was just like, did I stand up?
Yeah, you
I
probably
did get very upset very quickly.
It was like, but how good's that though? That like some of the best things of the year, Festival of Friendship again, and this one.
Get those emotional reactions out here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Just as a quick point, there's only one other time I've stood up watching TV. And
TV
gone,
in
no.
general.
Yeah, and God, no.
Go
no.
on.
Red Wedding.
Red Wedding.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he went over.
The only reason you don't stand up during wrestling more is because you usually fall asleep.
Fair point as well.
Yeah, true.
Right, next
Next
point.
one. I don't know whether the actual
Quick fire.
I can't remember if the debut was this year. I don't think it was. So I'm just going to say the kind of arrival of Bayley and the fall of Bayley.
Yeah, the Baylor thing it does make me sad.
The This Is Your Life segment and the Kendo Stick match.
Very sad.
Fucking awful. Because Alexa Bliss has been brilliant. Side point. She's been brilliant since she's come in. Bayley came at the start of at the end. Sorry, of last year. She came after SummerSlam, didn't she? I think. And I had big expectations for her. I thought she was going to do really well. I think
Great expectations.
Great expectations. I thought she was a different kind of character, I suppose, for the roster. I thought it wouldn't matter which show she went on. I thought she'd have good matches because I'd seen her good matches with Banks and Asuka and even Nia Jax to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Good things, like her. Some of the things I don't like in wrestling are when it goes a bit kid friendly and all that kind of stuff. But for her, I was all right with it because I was like, well, yeah, that's what she is, and she was this underdog, and the kids loved her, and I like grew to love her as well. Totally fucked it up, and I know you were never overly impressed with it anyway. But like same with Joe, where they took 90% of his character from NXT and just tweaked that little bit, and it worked fine. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, they just expected Bayley to do the same. They thought, oh, we just do this again.
Yeah,
and it'll work.
But I don't understand why they couldn't just keep it. But instead of over-egging she's for the kids and she's this happy character, if they'd gone the more underdoggy kind of route where she's going to try her best, yeah, you can still be a fan of wrestling and come across pretty well, because let's be honest, that's what we all are. They completely dropped the ball on it for me.
This is definitely going to come up in the next podcast when we talk about the things we expect or things we want to happen for the rest of the year, where Superstar J-Got's been announced for next week.
I know.
What?
I'm not overly sure if this is going to be a proper shake-up as opposed to a bit of a sprinkle, maybe.
Exactly that, but I mean, we can talk about that because this is in the future. Yeah. But yeah, I think
something might come out.
Something
but then again, with the Bayley thing, missed opportunity doing it wrong, and then people like your Alexa Blisses, the Bayley segment aside, has been brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant this year. Love it when she's on. And I hope they do a little bit more. We can talk about that. With Carmella as well, I think they've done her pretty well. I think they have done Nia Jax pretty well. Who else you got? They're the main ones, aren't they? Like Banks has carried on, been a bit injured, but she's the only one that they really dropped the ball on is Bayley, and it's a real shame, I think.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's just finish on a high then, because we've already gone over here. But Hardy's return.
Oh, wonderful!
Wonderful.
That made us cheer.
Yeah, like when I jumped out of the sofa with DIY, he jumped out and leapt and let out a slightly girly scream in excitement.
Because we'd all thought, oh, it'd be good, wouldn't it, if this happened? They're gonna come. No, they're not. Oh,
the way they did it was right.
It was brilliant.
Because they played it as if the New Day were gonna take that spot.
And they came out in the wrestling gear.
Yeah, nice bit.
And we were all a bit. Oh.
I wasn't quite. I was like, hold on though.
Shut up.
I was 50-50 at that point because I was thinking, yeah, they got wrestling gear on, but hold on. They're saying there's a four. We'll go back and watch the live recording that we didn't do. I was that hopeful that I was going to be hoping that the Hardys would come in, even if New Day announced themselves as the ones that were going to be in the match and started walking down the ramp. I'd still be hopeful at that point.
It was great, wasn't it? And
it was just nice to see. Wasn't it
slowly drifting off for you though?
A little bit, like the nostalgia. I think we've all said the nostalgia is only going to carry him so far.
Yeah.
And it's coming to the end of that now, and I think what they're doing, what they're doing on Raw just previously and stuff, they're edging towards something different now because I think they're realising that it's.
Talk about that on the next podcast.
Yeah, because that's in the future.
Can I say one more thing then? I know that was going to be the last one.
No, you
I think we would be amiss if we didn't say thank you, Taker, at the end of this one because he's retired.
He's done.
Perhaps.
How did you? Perhaps it's always there, isn't it? Which I think is a nice way.
It seems like he's not doing another WrestleMania, but Survivor Series might be the one to go out on.
I would be absolutely gutted if he came back at Survivor Series.
Yeah, don't. It was upsetting seeing you at WrestleMania in that state. It was not fun.
It was, and I like the idea that he's already dead anyway, and he can come back at any time. Again, silly, but what a nice way to go out. He could always come back because he's never really dead. I like all that kind of stuff for this.
For me, I would. I mean, this will be next year anyway, so it's not technically the next podcast. For me, Survivor Series, you come back and you have your proper last match, but you book it in a way. You book it not with fucking Roman fucking Reigns who can't wrestle. You book it with someone who's strong enough to pick you up and who can do most of the work for you. Even if it's AJ Styles, it's a better match than what he did with Roman. It wasn't a good match.
It was an awful match. It shouldn't have been against Roman. Again, not going to spend long on it, but back to the Rumble, like we said, if it had been Cena for his 17th, if it had been Undertaker was the champion, if it had been something with them two, if they'd done something else, it would have been brilliant. They messed it up with the build up between them two. The match, was awful. I'm being nice calling it awful.
Yeah.
But when he took the hat off, the coat, the gloves, and he left it. And it all stayed there, brilliant.
Yeah, as they were taking the ring down
brilliant.
and stuff. And
then he left, and he got lowered down, the arm up like fucking Terminator or whatever, and that was it. That's it.
If you like, apart from the actual match, if you're gonna go out, that's the way to go out.
Perfect way to go out.
Yeah. Honestly, he could have just done without the match. He could have just gone out and just put his stuff in the ring and then walked off again. That would have been much preferable. That would have been a better thing to do and a better ending than that shit match.
Just tombstone him and win.
Everyone would love that.
Everyone would have fucking
straight away
loved
punch him, tombstone him, go, still my yard.
My yard. It'll always be my yard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. If you're listening live on YouTube, we're going to be right back in like probably 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to be talking about the rest of the year as well. If you're listening on iTunes, it's probably already available, so download it.
It's like a marathon.
We're fucking going for it.
Let's have a little break.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Brew up, team.
Peace.